Promised Future by FeatheredMask. Summary. This is a world where you wear your soulmate's heart on your sleeve and their names appear when you turn 18. Ochaco holds her two hearts close, waiting for the day she can hold them in her arms for real. Soulmates were a wonderful, wonderful thing. Soul marks were a secret, hidden thing. Ochaco learned that as a fledgling hero. As kids, the little splotch of red on someone's wrist was something to poke and marvel at. Many nights she had spent probably the same as many other kids, lying in bed, watching the little slip of a heart, trying to time her own heart rate to its beating. The marks were reflections of the hearts inside their soulmates. Ochaco learned that her own heart beat on someone else's wrist, on her soulmate's wrist. As a teen, she grew self-conscious. It wasn't necessarily unheard of, but two hearts studded her arms, one on each wrist. Two soulmates, each holding her heart. And she held their hearts on her arms. Middle school girls giggled in the bathrooms, flashing red camellia hearts to friends, whispering about the qualities they hoped their soulmate held, whispering predictions they had read online based on how often their soulmate's heart raced or stuttered, or by which soul arm the heart was on. Ochaco saw the stigma before she could show off her double hearts to barely friends. Two hearts, but not twins, one strong and the other flighty. What kind of person couldn't commit themselves solely and entirely to one soulmate? She was not a half of a person, her other half somewhere out there. She was just a third of a complete set. Hero School was a mixed bag. 4 other students in her class, UA's Hero Track course, the absolute best of the year's incoming students, also had double hearts. It was a relief to have it suddenly be nothing more than another kind of love that their futures promised. Kyoka, Denki, Izuku, and Katsuki. These were her companions that made it less of a concern if her sleeves rode up. Izuku and Katsuki, having grown up together, took double hearts in stride. Pride, even. Intense and competitive, their attitude spread to the rest of the class. Destiny promised the perfect matches for promising heroes. Until Aizawa walked into class one day, dumped a box of wristbands on the table at the front, and told them to cover up their wrists. Soulmates, after all, were a liability for heroes. None of them knew their soulmates, but double hearts was a dead giveaway for villains or even media looking into the potential heroes being taught at UA. Names appeared when someone turned 18, which added levels of liability. Heroes could figure out if they were above or below 18 with one glance. In addition to soulmate names they could then hunt down and hurt. Heroes kept their private lives private, and covering their soul marks was just another way they kept their privacy safe. Soulmate talk stopped in Hero School almost completely after that. The girls still whispered like middle school, but in rare instances. Soul marks were not a topic for the battlefield after all. As they got older, soul marks were touched on in classes. Legislation and laws they could use as heroes to protect their soulmates and the very laws that took away rights of hero soulmates. Strongly recommended advice on how to meet a potential soulmate quietly and safely as a public figure. Tips on keeping a soulmate away from the action without compromising yourself. Aizawa stared hard at 5 of his students when he gave the recommendation that heroes should try to refrain from meeting their soulmates in the first place. Let the marks corrupt, let the name vanish, the red turn to black, and then let the process repeat when a new name and new heart replaces the first. When they complained about Aizawa in their next class, President Mike laughed loud and hard before telling the students that he was just trying to scare them. The life of a hero was dangerous, yes, but soulmates were not flighty. Love was stubborn. Love persisted. Ochaco looked at her double hearts in the bathroom stall after that class. The flighty one had become strong lately, no longer as prone to frequent panic as it used to be. The strong one had its moments as well, beating heavy, but was strong and healthy. She wrapped her hearts around her, wishing she could hold the 2 of them tight. One day, she promised. One day she would find them. In the meantime, she watched the flirting around her turn into dating. Practice for when they met their soulmates, everyone said. But everyone knew it was a craving for that soulmate connection, driving them to doubt the depth of a connection to someone they had never met before. Ochaco entertained the idea of dating a few boys in her class. Tenya? He was a great friend, but somehow doubted their compatibility. Her friend ached to get to know Izuku and Katsuki, but she remembered their double hearts from that early first school term. They had enough love for 2 soulmates already. Who was she asking for them to share some of that love with her? Soulmates were often scattered far and wide, the names sometimes appearing in foreign languages from other countries. She had no chance when they would soon run off in search of their true soulmates. Katsuki was the first of their class to reach 18 years old. The class stared at him all through that month of April, watching him itch and twitch under the attention, but his routine didn't change. He didn't suddenly start texting like mad. didn't make any new phone calls. When they discovered his laptop password, his browser history was bare of social media and name searches. His workout and training routine stayed the same, intense as ever. It was sobering to think that he was following Aizawa's original recommendations of staying out of his soulmates' lives. Whoever his soulmates were, either they hadn't turned 18 yet, or they had also decided to let the explosive young man continue his career path without interruption. His name had been all over the media their first year, both as UA Sports Festival winner and as a kidnapped student. He would have been an easy soulmate to research. The students settled down. Their class graduated early, and they split, taken on as sidekicks in hero agencies across the nation. It was expected, with the class forced to take an accelerated route with the risk of villain targeting. Still, it was a heartfelt graduation, with promises of meetups for any of them passing near one or another hero agency and phone numbers held close. None of them wanted to break apart the bond that had grown between all of them, a bond they insisted was stronger than any soulmate destiny promised them. Ochaco was not the first of her soulmates to reach 18 years old. She knew that as soon as the kanji scrawled over their hearts on December 27th, her birthday. She stayed home that day, 2 days after Christmas, watching her soul marks all day for the moment she would learn their names. She had expected to take a few days after her birthday doing nothing but research, scanning social media and school records for her soulmates. She didn't need those days, it turned out. When she next saw Katsuki taking a late-night bullet train to reach him, she screamed in his face. His 18th birthday had been back in April, after all. His heart beat on her arm, just as her heart beat on his arm. She ranked his grenadier bracers off to find the third heart that matched the one on her wrist. Midoriya Izuku. Ochaco tackled Katsuki in a hug that even had the tray of a man stumbling back, ignoring his complaints about soulmates being a liability on the battlefield. No, she said, finally hugging that strong heart, watching the one on her arm beat in time to the one beating in his chest. I'm not leaving your side anymore. I talked to Deku, Katsuki said, his words thick. His soul marks are gone. Ochaco checked her wrist, the little kanji spelling out Izuku's name. She checked Katsuki's wrist again, just to make sure. Midoriya Izuku. Katsuki just shook his head. Her eyes hardened. We still have ours. His name being here is proof enough that we're soulmates. They took another train to reach the hero agency Izuku was working at, Ochaco shooting him a text asking, no, demanding a get-together. Gravity and Ground Zero were coming by, wanting to meet up with a school friend while she was on the search for her soulmates. Izuku replied quickly, surprised she was rushing so fast into soulmate searching. Katsuki offered a bet that he was scrambling to find her a last-minute birthday present before they arrived. The present that was placed on the coffee shop table between them was certainly a rushed job, with altogether too much tape and no card or tag on the outside. Izuku looked between the two, and laughed, commenting on how he thought Katsuki had sworn off soulmate searching. Ochaco proudly showed off the heart of the man beside her, Bakugou Katsuki. It raced, flighty in this calm scene. When she rolled up her other sleeve, the heart there skipped a beat. Izuku looked at the two of them through a veil of tears, his voice quiet, hardly daring to believe. Still have soulmates? Katsuki rolled up his sleeves as well, showing off the camellia petal hearts on his battle-scarred arms, delicate kanji naming those that destiny promised him. I thought you were the one that stopped wanting us, so I didn't want to say anything, he confessed. Izuku shook his head, holding back too many sobs to speak. He shakily pulled back his sleeve, showing no red hearts, not even corrupt as black hearts. Skin scarred by his past battles, but no slip of red. They took him in their arms, and for the first time since his hearts vanished, Izuku held their hearts close to him. The present was a box of Christmas-themed chocolates. They shared it in the quiet comfort of Izuku's apartment, holding their hearts close. Ochaco had found her soulmates, and she was never letting them go again. End of Promised Future.